I have written an entire uni thesis on PewDiePie, and it is now actually finished, and it is 70 pages of PewDiePie video analysis. This is not a joke, this is not a drill, this is real. Hello Blazers, no fuck is that, how you guys doing today? Welcome to a brand new video. If you guys have been following me for quite a long time now, quite a few months ago, I released a video in which I told that I have started writing a PewDiePie thesis for my university. It's basically a yearly thing where you have to write a thesis. In Russia it's called kursach. And back in that video I started working it, now it's actually done, and actually already got done presenting it. And apparently the picture of myself presenting my thesis is a very good meme template. So yeah, I've got a lot of new subscribers recently, so for those that don't know the context, basically I am a student of a university. I'm in the 4th year of university right now, and I study linguistics and translation. I'm actually studying to be a translator, I'm studying Chinese. 但是我中文学习的成绩不太好了，我是一个很傻的老外。But yeah, since I study linguistics and translation, the thesis that I have to write, it has to be connected with the topic of linguistics. So last year the thesis that I wrote was actually very interesting as well. It was, the topic was the peculiarities of audiovisual translation of Breaking Bad. So what I did is that I kind of skimmed through the entirety of Breaking Bad, and I wrote down a lot of stuff, and I analyzed the way it's translated in the official translation. It was a lot of fun, and I rewatched the series. But my professors at my university actually know that I have a YouTube channel, so you know, they might be watching this as well. I'm screwed. And they suggested me an idea that maybe I would do something along the lines of that previous thesis, but this time I would use a YouTuber or something like that as a material of my study. And so I decided, why not just go with PewDiePie and just make an entire thesis on PewDiePie? I mean, it's genius. I'm gonna promote the idea of PewDiePie Battle into series. I'm gonna let my professor know who PewDiePie is now, and also I can make YouTube videos about it and milk it to death. So yeah guys, I'm actually not kidding whatsoever. I have written a 73-page thesis on PewDiePie and translation of PewDiePie's videos into Russian by some other channels on YouTube from Russia. It is an actual conclusive study of what makes PewDiePie click with viewers, the pragmatics of his speech, the intention of his speech, how he gets people to laugh, and how he gets people to, you know, watch his videos in general, and how exactly do translators that translate PewDiePie's videos in Russian kinda carry that over, or if they don't carry that over. So yeah, just some statistic for you guys. Overall, I've looked at 13 videos, so each video has 2 translations, so in total it's 39 videos. 13 original videos from PewDiePie that are each about 10 minutes long, 10-minute ad revenue, and 26 translations of those videos. The total amount of videos that I had to very carefully watch and basically check out every single sentence, every single word, and check if it's translated properly, the total length of all the videos that I looked at is 6 hours, 27 minutes, and 9 seconds. I've looked at 6 hours of PewDiePie footage and analyzed it for this thesis. I'm actually insane. You gotta understand that writing this thesis have left me with absolutely no life, okay? So you better fucking share this on PewDiePie subreddit or something, okay? I gotta get clout for this. I've just given too much effort. And as well, another statistic is that overall there were 89 examples that I took out of all of these videos, out of 39 videos. 89 examples of pragmatic peculiarities of translation, which I basically, in my thesis, I put them into 3 categories. The first one is phonetic difficulties of translation, where the YouTubers, the Russian translators of PewDiePie videos, use their voice to replicate PewDiePie's voice and replicate the pauses, the abruptions in PewDiePie's speech. They can replicate his entire accent.
Я повторяю, я говорю вам еще раз, пацаны, 2018 вообще не должен был наступать. Становится только хуже. Yes.
This is actually a thing that the most popular translators of PewDiePie into Russia do. There's this guy called Rainbow Fox who copies PewDiePie's voice pretty well. He even did a Russian version of Congratulations recently.
Serious? Yeah. Это большой день для тебя. Отличная работа.
And so regarding this, I had a huge point in my thesis that it's actually very important to carry over phonetic, you know, peculiarities of PewDiePie's speech, because that makes it more engaging with the viewer, and the Russian viewer that watches that translation still feels like they're actually connected to PewDiePie, not some random idiots, okay? The second category I looked at is lexical difficulties, which I basically looked at puns in PewDiePie's speech, I looked at allusions, I looked at the way the translators deal with swear words, I looked at slang, and as well I looked at foreign words in PewDiePie's videos, how the translators deal with that. Do they translate it? Do they just leave it as it is? So for example, PewDiePie is saying "Skrataro" It counts as a foreign word within the English speech, so it's a thing that I actually study in this thesis. It's pretty epic. And the third category I looked at is the extra-linguistic difficulties and peculiarities of translation, which basically includes all the subtitles, all the text that is on screen, things that are not verbally pronounced, you know, any text that appears on the screen. And so, like, I've come up to a bunch of conclusions in this thesis. The main conclusion is that overall, the translators that translate PewDiePie into Russian are pretty fucking terrible. Like, there are very, very often cases in which a translator just doesn't hear what PewDiePie has said in the original video, right? And he just messes up the translation completely because of that.
You know, I haven't even watched this video and I already absolutely fucking loathe it.
Знаете, я даже не смотрел это видео, но я уже полностью загрузил его.
Well, right off the bat, that fucking font, it's like the standard fucking font in Premiere.
Не, ну сразу, это весело. Это чертовски весело. Сразу видно, что это чертовски весело.
Another big conclusion in my thesis that I came up with while analyzing is that a lot of the translators that translate PewDiePie into Russian, they copy each other, okay? Basically what happens is that one translator has a video and then another translator makes a video a bit later, and in his video he has mistakes that are so dumb that it's just impossible that two translators would ever make the same mistake, that they just so random. Here's the first one, just for context. I already mentioned this in my previous video, but there's this moment where PewDiePie says something about Skyrim, the game, and the translators just don't hear it, and they just translate Skyrim as scary movie for some reason. Ужастик.
This guy makes legendary Skyrim parodies. They're so funny.
Кстати, этот чувак снимает легендарные пародии на всякие ужастики, реально смешные.
Этот чувак снимает легендарные пародии на ужастики. Ржака-абасака.
The translator probably just heard Skyrim and thought he said like scary or something like that, because the translation makes no sense whatsoever. And the thing is that two different translators had the exact same mistake. I doubted that they had the exact same mistake by accident. It's not possible. Here's another great example. PewDiePie was in Hungary, he recorded the vlog, and in this little clip of the vlog, basically some kid talks to PewDiePie, or just some kid runs by and he's speaking Hungarian, I'm assuming, so
To enter, what is this? Tanacon? No, thank you. Shut up, child.
I highly fucking doubt that the translators that translate PewDiePie into Russian know Hungarian. Okay, that's a very random language to know, and I don't think anybody speaks Hungarian apart from people in Hungary. So in this random moment of the video, the kid just speaks some nonsense, but yet the translators translate it as, "Sir, do you want some sausages?" Where did that come from?
Танакон?
Возьмите шулю,
Нет, спасибо. Ты пасть захлопни, пиздюк.
Танакон? Сосиски, сосиски, сэр, возьмите сосиски. Нет, спасибо. Сосиски, сосиски. Да заткнись ты уже там, а?
That's just the most random thing. Like, I got questions, why is that a thing in the first place? Why did you decide to translate some random Hungarian speech? And once again, those same two translators have the exact same thing in their videos. In one video it's translated as, "Sir, do you want sausages?" And in the other video it's also translated as, "Sir, do you want sausages?" That is just like the most obvious proof that these guys are copying each other, because there's no way two people that are not connected to each other would come up with the same translation for some Hungarian random shit. Like, there's no way. And I've got so much more examples of that in this thesis. Like, I've actually given it a lot of proof. So yeah, it's pretty true. You know, translators do copy each other a lot. It's pretty crazy. And another sort of big conclusion that I came up to, I guess, in the end of this thesis is that essentially it doesn't even matter how good a translator is translating lexical, actually translating the words and their meanings, because a lot of the times these translators, they make just terrible mistakes. They just make no sense whatsoever. And the amount of mistakes in his translations is actually crazy. Like, if I were to translate PewDiePie videos, I would have not made even half of the mistakes that these guys make. But ultimately, in the end, I come up to a conclusion that these guys still get a ton of views, and they still get a ton of subs, and they're earning money from it, right? And eventually, you know, the viewers that watch the translation, they're still happy with it, because honestly, they can't really tell if the translation is wrong or not, right? And what happens is that generally the translator puts a lot of emphasis on actually imitating PewDiePie's voice, therefore he creates a whole new sort of communicative connection with the viewer. He gives the viewer the feeling that he's really watching PewDiePie right now, and at the end of the day, the correctness of the translation of actual words, of lexical elements, is actually not that important, because the overall idea of the video, the overall message of the video, is still there, right? And some little lexical mistakes, yes, they're bad. And when I listen to this shit, I'm getting heated, okay? I'm like, how can you be this bad, okay? But that's just because I know English. Forever in Russian, suka, blядь, it doesn't matter, right? So in the end, I kind of come up with a conclusion that, you know, even though they make a lot of mistakes, they still are succeeding in their task of translating PewDiePie's videos into Russian. Because if these translators just were not a thing, then hundreds of thousands of these viewers that watch PewDiePie in Russian, the translations, they would have not been able to watch this kind of content, right? So these guys are kind of one of a kind. They're still doing their job to provide PewDiePie epic reactions to the Russian population. But yeah, I could have showed you guys the actual printed version I have of my thesis, but unfortunately I can't. I've actually already handed it in to my professor, and I'm not fucking printing 70 pages again. I'm not. So I'll just put it on screen or something, like just scrolling through it, so you guys believe me that this is a real thing. It is. It's actually real. And I'm so glad it's finally over, because now that I finally finished my thesis, I actually have maybe a little bit more free time, which is great. Gives me more time to make videos and stuff like that instead of writing this in my free time, because writing a thesis is very difficult. I don't know how it is in American universities or whatever, but in Russian universities they will go hard on you. Like, you've gotta really comply with the rules. You gotta be really scientific about it. You cannot just write whatever. You gotta, pretty much every word you write has to be checked by your professor, and if it's some dumb shit, he's gonna call you out on it. So I've put my blood, sweat and tears into this thesis, and it's finally finished. PewDiePie hopefully can be proud of me, and you guys hopefully can be proud of me. I just wanted to make this little video here to give you guys a sort of an update, and, you know, just to let this off my chest, because I'm so happy that my thesis is finally finished, so you guys have to know. But yeah guys, I guess that is going to be pretty much it for today's video, though. If you guys did enjoy it, please make sure to slap them fucking like button. I mean, you just have to slap a like button on this video. I've put so much effort into this fucking thesis, you just gotta do it. And yeah guys, if you guys want to support me, by the way, you can go and check out my Patreon down in the description. We have our own Discord community. It's very fun if you guys want to support me, because YouTube is pretty bad. Link in the description, Patreon, donate, support, yada yada yada. I'll be very happy. It is actually very helpful for me. And yeah guys, that is going to be pretty much it for today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.